I think that we can start introducing you to the to today's session. So I would like to welcome you all in the module 9 of Cultural Footprint project. Module 9 is entitled Find the Entrepreneur in You. Um, and it will be presented by Mrs. Giulia Fornari and Mrs. Roberta. Um, so the aims of today's training is the provision of guidance how to relate the values, principles, and mechanisms of entrepreneurship, of the provision of understanding and analysis on possible business opportunities by using practical tools to encourage realistic plannings, and the provision of learning on how to assess the strengths and weaknesses of entrepreneurial ideas and threats and opportunities of their context of action. In order to ensure the smooth implementation of this webinar, we are going to follow some general rules. So in accordance with the GDPR, we would like to inform you that this webinar is going to be recorded. That means that if you have your cameras open, it's going to be appeared in the camera. So if you have, if you don't want to be appeared in this video, just close your cameras. Additionally, as it is an online session, we have to fill in the participant list, which you can find in the chat, and I'm going to share it again with you here. If you face problems by clicking on the participant list and you cannot open it, write us in the chat your name, your surname, your email, and the country of origin. In the end of this session, we are going to share with you an evaluation form to be filled in order to assess the whole procedure. So by clicking in the link that you can find in the chat, you are going to see the attendance list. So you can fill in your name, surname, your country, and your email address. And you can put your signature either using the drawings section of Word, or if you have your signature as photo, by copy pasting in this attendance list. So in the end of the session, you are going to receive this evaluation form here. You will receive a link. The evaluation form is pretty small and is very important for us to assess the content of the module and the whole procedure. So it will last only 5 minutes to fill it in. So additionally, in these workshops, we are going to follow the rules of communication in order to hear very well the presenter. You must keep your microphones closed. You must be muted, and in case of questions, please first raise your hand, and once the trainer has given you the permission to speak, unmute yourselves. The meeting must be recording during the implementation, so an automatic message has already appeared to your screens. Also, we are going to have some screenshots for the social media of the project. If you doesn't want to be appeared in the cameras, you can still keep your cameras off. Please make sure that you have written your name to the participant list, or if you face problems with the participant list, you can write your name, as I previously mentioned, to the chat of this session. So today's agenda will be we are going to have for the first hour the entrepreneurial mindset development. That means that till 6:30 set time, Mrs. Giulia will present the first part of the presentation. We are going to have a 10 minutes break. short break, and then we are going to proceed with the next hour with the project design and business making, which is also the practical part of the session. Then we are going to have around 5 to 10 minutes for conclusions and remarks, and also to fill in the evaluation form. So in case of questions, just raise your hands, or if you cannot raise your hand, or if you cannot use your microphone, write your questions to the chat and we will read it to the presenter in order to be answered. So I will give now the floor to Giulia, who is our presenter, to welcome you. I'll reserve the presentation for the session. Giulia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Alexandra. So for the presentation, I will try to select the PowerPoint, or you'll do it for me.
No, I am doing it now. I'm going to share it now.
Okay, thank you. I try to take the control. Yeah, it's work.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome everybody again. We are in the not last, but almost the last module for the Cultural Footprint project. In this webinar, we will talk about entrepreneurship. As Alexandra told us before, we'll have several topics. The first one is about entrepreneurial mindset. The second one is about project design, and the third one it's about business making. And we have also different outcomes and learning outcomes. So the first one is to relate the values, the principle, and the mechanism of entrepreneurship. The second one is to understand and analyze possible business opportunity by using practical tools to encourage realistic planning for artists or other kind of opportunities. And then the third one is to learn to assess the strengths and the weaknesses of entrepreneurial ideas and the threats and opportunities of their context of action. That is also so important to relate in the context. So the theory in the first part is about the aim of the model is to convey the idea of what it takes to become an entrepreneur and what are the basic business tools that we need to do, to use and to understand to be an entrepreneur. So through this model, as we told before, participant will learn the value, the principle, but also the mechanism to enter in the setting and in the world of entrepreneur. So about entrepreneurial mindset, we can say that introduce participant to the essential entrepreneurial term, skills and teams. So in this unit, the aim is to make the artists relate to this kind of principle and mechanism of entrepreneurship that are like not so common in the everyday life. So driving them to reflect on the skills that are already possessed maybe, or maybe that should be acquired. Then, in the second part is about project design. We will move from the personal sphere to the business idea, offering participants the theoretical elements and practical tools to design a project. So, for example, the business model Canva or creative business model Canva. Then we will learn the importance of the context and the impact in terms of opportunities, threats, and how we can design and implement a project. In the third part, we will provide the practical tools that you can use at home during your work, or maybe to assess a project that you are in mind or you are just running. Then, relate to the value, principle, and mechanism to the entrepreneurship, we can say that artists during the history have always implicitly deployed a diverse array of non-artistic competencies to surmount the challenges that inevitably arise over the course of their career. In simple words, we can say that if you think about an artist, you don't think about for an entrepreneur. But it's not true. in this kind of world for sure. We need this kind of skills, and this is why we have to guarantee this kind of skills and module to assess it. So, yet there remain significant obstacles for students today to learn about this perspective, including the structural basis of educational policy toward privileging art training over non-artistic skill. Maybe some educators have personal resistance to teaching skills that they are barely trained in themselves. So it's another point of view, and we have to think that this kind of skills, like also the digital or the one that are more linked to the sustainability, are new, and so the teacher from the last year are not so used with this kind of terms and responsibilities. So about the first step is terminology, because we think that it's so important to understand the terminology that we are using inside the field of entrepreneurship. So the following definition of essential terms and role regarding the entrepreneurial domain serve as a reference. They also intend to invite artists, facilitators, and participants to reflect upon, discuss, and question the terminology that we are proposing. So if you want to add other terms that we are not talking about, you are free to do. The first one is creation. We put here creation as a big vision of act of creativity. So like the artist, all kind of entrepreneur principally create value for others. So the second terms is value, and value in the art can be intrinsic or extrinsic, and is often both. So for example, an extrinsic value refers to the monetary value of the painting, of course, but the intrinsic one is created and is like the art itself. So, which hopefully create an experience and evoke a response for those expressing it. We have some problem with the attendance list, maybe. I see the messages. Anyway,
Yes, I will share the participant list.
Or if you want, maybe someone is just arrived and you can put your name, your email, and your country in the chat. Then we pass to the next term, that is profit. So for varied reasons, some artists associate profit with selling out. However, art entrepreneurs are not selling out, but they are selling art. So profit is the one necessary element to having a viable and sustainable business. Then we have risk. The word risk should be, of course, not omitted from the definition of entrepreneurship, because as entrepreneurship is a risk-based endeavor, just as a career in the art is. So one does not know if their effort will be fruitful, or if an audience will appreciate that work, or if the creator will attract donors or investors, or if a show will profit or not. So there are no guarantees in the field of entrepreneurship, as the same in the art field, I think. Okay, here we are proposing the EntreCom framework. It's very important to know this competencies framework delivered by the European Union. So in 2018, the EntreCom framework was published, defining entrepreneurship as the ability to transform opportunities and ideas into value for others. So it can be financial, cultural, or social value, but entrepreneurship is important in a complex world with limited resources and global challenges. So promoting an entrepreneurial mindset among art professionals can help overcome obstacles like lack of income, funding, and systemic prejudice. It can also counter negative attitudes such as the myth of genius and the devil of commercialism. It's important to know about EntreCom that he identified 15 competencies in 3 areas: ideas and opportunity, searches, and then into action. These competencies are broken down further into practical terms. Learning outcomes are categorized into 8 levels of progression. Here we can see the images, but if you click on the link, I don't know if I'm sharing the website or is something that you can see during the presentation. Alexandra,
which website do you want to share, Giulia?
You can try maybe, because we put inside the PowerPoint this link, Entrecom framework. I click on and a web page open on my PC, but maybe you can't see it.
I must stop there.
No, it's
No,
this link. You see? Entrecom framework with this hand. If you go on, you can try it to your PC, maybe it's work. I don't know, because you are presenting. If you click on
it doesn't.
If it's not working, it's okay. I will put in the chat so participants can just join the web page. No? Okay, maybe it's not working.
We can share with the participants later with the materials.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very useful link because you are just going inside the Entrecom framework website. So you have all the competencies, you have all the community pages where you can talk about that, or you are also the training format on all the competencies and all the activity that you can find. So after the European competence framework that we think that is very good to know for entrepreneur, we have the unit 2, but we are a bit early because we think that we can show better the page and go deep, but I can just continue with the second unit and then we will make the pause later. So the unit 2, project design. The learning objective is to understand, analyze the possible business opportunity by using practical tools to encourage realistic planning. We start with the definition of project. Project is a set of tasks that must be completed in order to arrive at a particular goal or outcome. The word project, that usually means before an action. Depending on the design and scope of the project, this task may be simple, elaborated, but all projects can be broken down into objectives and what needs to be done to achieve them. The word project came from the Latin. The word is projectum, that means before an action, because proiecere turns into pro, which denotes precedence, something that comes before something else in time, and iacere, that is to do. So this is the roots of the project. It is very interesting to think that project, if you think about project, you think about future, but the word means that you have to think about the stuff that are coming before. So it's very a good starting point. Then we can say that every project is unique as it emerges from the not replicable match of certain internal and external factors. For example, the context where we live in can be viewed as both a concern and an opportunity. Finally, a project must be progressively elaborated, and this means that the project progresses in steps and continues by increments. So this is also something that is linked to the deadline. And this also means that the definition of the project is refined at each step. It's not very clear everything. Everything is just think and you have to do like you were imagining, but it's not like that. It's always something that you have to reschedule in time. And ultimately, the purpose of the progress is enunciated. Then we would like to introduce the 5 WAs method. Is a very useful one because it's a tool that you can use when you are designing your project. And the 5 Ws is a simple and effective method that helps to analyze a context in a given situation, helps you to ask the right question to understand a specific problem and answer it more efficiently. So it's the acronyms of who, what, where, when, and why. So during a project in the brainstorming session, what you should think about is who, like the target group where you want to address your project. What is like the main action of your project, the main goals of the project. Where, because always a target is linked to a community. So where you would like to create your project, for example, if the target are the students, maybe the place should be the school, or I don't know, a training after the school in the community or in the rural area. Then when, usually a project have different duration. And why? So why should be the cause? Why you are thinking about your target? What is the problem that you would like to solve? So why is the very starting point sometimes to understand the needs of your target and then build your idea. And after you organize your ideas, you write your project, you can test it. And you can use this tool that's very useful. It's the strength and weaknesses SWOT, opportunities and threats. So it's the SWOT analysis, a very famous tool that I always recommend. And it's an acronym, as you can see. So strength and weaknesses is the first step that you faces, and then you have opportunities and threats. SWOT analysis is designed to facilitate a realistic, fact-based, data-driven case. And if you are like an organization or a person, so you can also do a personal SWOT analysis, and it's very useful. The primary objective of the SWOT analysis is to help you to develop a full awareness of all the factors involved in making a business decision. So the primary objective of a SWOT analysis is to help you to develop a full awareness of all factors involved in making a business decision. The unit 3, we are going very fast because we say that we go to the first unit in the first part and then, but okay, because it's another tool. We go on the first step to definition of term and etc. Then we go to the idea of designing a project, and now we are already inside the tool that can help a project manager or an artist or someone who would like to run a business opportunities. So the business model Canva that I mentioned before is the most famous and widely used framework for defining and structuring the business model of a company or a startup. We are proposing the project the creative project Canva that is inspired by the business model Canva and was created by MATERAHUB within the project that is called Breaking the Desk. It was a project that was born to support artists in developing their business idea. The Creative Project Canva helps artists and creatives to plan sustainable projects where sustainability not necessarily refers to long-term economic profit, but to solid foundation you need to establish for your professional human project. So in the Creative Project Canva, I don't know if you have it in mind, but maybe I can share with you a link with the project Creative Canva. I don't know if I share an images in the chat, if they can see.
The images no, but the link, yeah.
Link. Yeah. Okay, let's try with the link. Okay.
Yeah.
I find it. It's an Italian website, but you can, yeah, you can change the language. Okay. So the component segment is divided into beneficiary and customers. So these support the aspect that beneficiaries often do not pay anything, but are crucial for the business model. Then the value proposition consists of the elements that are social value proposition, customer value proposition, and impact measure, which define how you control your social impact. The type of intervention describes the type of product that will deliver the value. And beside partners, the Canva includes the key stakeholders that are should be involved in your program. Then the component surplus describes where you play to invest your profits. We are going into the practice. Before going to the practice, I share another document. Maybe this one also.
Giulia?
Yeah? Can you hear me?
I can open the Entrecomp site.
You can go in the Entrecomp site, or this one is a good document. I don't know if I share on the chat, you can open it, or I can share my screen and open it. What do you think?
It's better, I think, to share your screen.
Okay.
I will stop sharing mine, so in order to be able to share it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Yes?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so I would like also to share this document that I was reading this one yesterday. It wasn't inside our presentation, our modules, but I was thinking that was so useful because this is the rules for success, rules of success for entrepreneurs. So it's like the good vademecum that every entrepreneur should follow. Different entrepreneurs have a different definition for their own success. Because of that, a clear roadmap that can show the right way to success cannot be drawn, but basic rules can be followed, which can lead to success. So the first rule is define your vision. Your vision is something that will clearly define your success as an entrepreneur. And you need to have a vision if you want to become successful. How you can expect to become a successful entrepreneur if you don't know what is success for you? True. The second rule is do what you love. So as an entrepreneur, you need to like what you are doing in your business. And sometimes that will not be the same as you plan that will be. You need to be passionate about your business because the passion is the one of the most important forces that will drive you to the success. So build strong community around your business is the rule number 3. The important thing about your business success is that you will need people, you need customers, you need employees, you need person which you will take and communicate. So you need to start building your community as soon as possible. The rule number 4 is communicate with your community, of course. You don't need to build community only to sell them, of course. You need community with which you will communicate and in some case build partners and relationship. They have very big power to make your business a successful business. Then you have the rule number 6. So use mistakes as an improvement tool. If you made a mistake and fail in something that you are doing, it doesn't mean that you will not become a successful entrepreneur. You will become unsuccessful only if you don't try something. Make a mistake, learn from the mistake, and improve yourself is the good. So you need to know that mistakes can improve you and your business. Rule number 7, change. So if you don't want to change your business, your market will change and will leave you isolated. So always stay on focus, and it's better to become the leader than the follower. If you don't have a clear path to become successful, you will need different maneuvers. So you need a change. Rule number 8, find the ways to go beyond the limits. So if you see limits in everything around you instead of opportunity, maybe you need to change your mindset and start to look beyond the limits. Rule number 9, differentiate yourself. So you don't need to look at what everyone else is doing. That's not something that will make you successful. And you will need to differentiate yourself and your business from everyone else. How do you differentiate yourself from your competition? And then the last rule, that is the number 10, celebrate and reward. So your journey to become a successful entrepreneur will not be a straight line. You will have many targets between where you are now and where you want to be in the future. So if you want your journey to continue with success, you will need to celebrate and reward yourself and your team for all accomplishment targets. And this kind of rule is very useful, I think, to read sometimes. And before we start with the practical, maybe we can move a bit before the break, and then we can start again with the practicals after the break. What do you think, Alexandra?
Yes,
Yes,
we can
continue
continue
with
with
it.
it.
So
Let me
let
see
me
my
see
screen.
yeah, I can see the screen. I don't know why. Yeah, now yes. Because the post will be at 6:30. We can I don't know, make at 6:15.
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
do it
can do it
earlier.
earlier. Okay. Meanwhile, we can go to the entrepreneur intercom framework website maybe, and then start with the practice after the break.
Let me
Let me
share
share
my
my
screen.
screen.
Can
Can
you
you
see
see
it?
it? Yes, I can see it. So good. I would like just to show the website. So maybe you can, go down to the page and go after to the training in the community. Yeah, this is the framework that we see before, and here the latest news. I think the most interesting part is the competencies area that are down to the training part. Okay, yeah, in training. Yeah, because here you have all the module to go deeper inside this entrepreneurial mindset. And here you can see the capacity, the criteria that they select, and the skills that every entrepreneur should have. So the first one is creativity. Then we have ethical and sustainable thinking. Then we have self-awareness and self-efficacy, and mobilizing others, taking the initiative, and coping with the uncertain, ambiguity, and risk. And it's very well organized, and you can go inside the competence area and assess your competencies and skills with exercise, theory, and practical tools. So this is the training format of the page. And then you have also the community part. That's very useful. You have also the Entrecom Cafe. If you go in the community, I think it's also on the upper part of the site.
No, it's only
community. Yeah, that one.
the communication part.
No, community is no, because if you go down, I think Entrecomp. Because when I go through the website, I see that there are different kind of community that the Entrecomp family offer. One is the Entrecomp Cafe that is not visible here, but is very useful, and I recommend you because it's full of also news and webinars and opportunity. And you can chat with people and ask for suggestions, is a good one. And then we have the glossary. The glossary is the last one, and is linked to the first part of our webinar because we talk about some definition. And I don't know if you can click on the glossary. It's the last one. Yes. Yeah, they put a lot of good news. So artificial intelligence and accountability, body language, chatbot. So a lot of articles and that are exploring word and definition of terms that are not always mentioned or always, I don't know, easy to understand. Yeah, and this is the Entrecomp website we use a lot during the implementation of this module. Okay. Thank you, Alexandra, to sharing the website. I don't know why, but I can see the screen now. We can try to make the break. Oh, okay. Now I can see better. And see, I don't know, in some minutes to put in practice all the exercise that we mentioned before.
Yes, let's have 10 minutes break. Okay, I think that we can start the second part.
Yes. Before the practical tool, I was thinking to go more deeper on the project design part, and I can share the screen again, but because this presentation is not going to the each step, so I'm going to share another presentation.
Okay, so I will stop sharing in order to be you for you to be able to share. Okay. And before we start, I would like to remind you to fill in the participant list. If you cannot find the participant list in the chat, or if you have problems with the link of the participant list, please write in the chat your name, surname, email address, and your country. So I will write it also in the chat to be easier for you. And Julia, the floor is yours again.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can share again also the attendance list, because, for example, I go out before and I enter again and I can see now the attendance list. Okay, so about the project design, because the exercise that I would like to do with you tonight is the 5 WA, because it what I think is, I don't know, the most useful one to start. But before start with the 5W exercise, I think that go deeper in the project design is very useful. So the first part we already mentioned before, and is the definition of project. But we didn't go to these different teams that are linked to the project design. So the first one is project life cycle. The project life cycle refers to the 5 phases of all the project that should follow and to start and finish. So the 5 phases of a project life cycle serve as the most basic outline that gives a project definition. And these 5 phases are initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. So it's very useful to think a project in this kind of milestone point of view, checkpoint, as you want to um, to call them, but it's very useful, and it's called project life cycle. Then we have the project scope. So project scope is a key aspect of the project planning stage. In many ways, it's a starting point. So determining project scope requires the project manager and their teams to set goals and objectives, details, deliverables, create tasks, establish important dates, and more. And project scope define desired outcomes and all specific factors which will affect reaching them. Then this word that is stakeholder, very well known, and refers to anyone and everyone involved in a project. We have the first stakeholder and the second stakeholder. So usually the most important is like your target group, so where you are address all your action to the project, but then there are the stakeholders that are all the related person that are not your target, but maybe can be related to the action, to the file, to the areas. So a stakeholder can be involved at every stage of the project or just in a certain way. Stakeholders analysis helps to categorize how investors, team members, vendors, contractor, and more can affect your project. So it's a very useful step. Then we have the deliverable. So deliverable refers to the specific outcomes a project create. And if you go through a project, you always see this word, or it's also can see like outcomes, not just deliverable. And the deliverable can be tangible or intangible. meaning they can be a physical product or something conceptual, so an intellectual output or maybe an activity or a capacity program or maybe I don't know, a residence for artists. So typically deliverable are the needs that inspired the project in the first place. If someone contract a builder to design and construct an office space, so the office is a tangible deliverable. Then the milestone. I also talk about milestone before because it's not the, I don't know, the little step that you do, but it's like the milestone, the step that you do and you arrive in a certain point, and are predetermined achievements that help track the project process. So think of milestone as a checkpoint, and these checkpoints are decided on before a project begin, so the project manager and teams know when they are on track to achieve the deliverables. So without milestone, it's so difficult to know if the project is on the road to success or not. Then the resources are is anything necessary to complete a project. So in a construction project, materials are all the essential resources. That say other resources like time, labor, equipment, staff are just as important. So a project manager must be able to identify all of the project resources in order to create a resource plan and manage the resource accordingly. So when resources are left uncounted for, it's easy to mismanage them. Then, before start the exercise is dependencies. So project dependencies refers to how resources must be shared and allocated within a project. So many projects will use the same physical materials for different purposes and across different stages. Understanding this dependency is the only way to ensure there is enough of resources to go around. Similarly, all projects are broken down into tasks. So when one task cannot be before another is completed, these tasks share a dependency. So for example, we are doing this webinar, this series of webinar, and then we are going through the coaching phase of this project, but it depends on this other phase. So the 5W method is very useful, and we can do in different way. For example, someone of us can share a project and we can try to make this exercise to assess the project, or maybe we are a lot, so we can all make our H5 exercise by ourselves and then maybe share on the chat, or I'm doing myself my exercise, so I can talk about my exercise before. And I will explain the exercise. We can take, I don't know, some minutes to make it, and then we can talk about. For do the exercise, think about your project and start to replaying this question. So, why are you doing this project? You can write or you just can think about it. Why do you think it is necessary? What does the project consist of? What will be the outcome of and the impact of the project? How is the project carried out or implemented? How will you manage to make it happen? Who is involved in project? Who is the project for? And when it starts and when does it finish? When is it going to happen? Where are you going to reach your public? And where are you based? So I'm doing my exercise and I hope that you are doing the same, and we will see in, I don't know, Alexandra, what do you think? 15 minutes is enough to complete all the exercise?
Yes, I think that 15 minutes for this exercise, it's okay. And then we can give the floor to some of the participants who wants to present the 5 Ws.
Perfect. Thank you.
So you have 15 minutes to prepare and to answer to these questions, as Giulia just mentioned. and then you can share with us the answers to these questions in order to have an interactive dialogue. And also, if you have questions, you can raise your hand in order to answer to all of them. So take 15 minutes to prepare your exercise, and we will be back. Okay, I hope that you have finished your exercise. Also, Julia, I don't know if you saw the chat after this exercise, if it is possible to show once again the first page before the milestones, because one of the participants had a connection problem. So she wants to explain once again the first page. Um, so I don't know if someone wants to share with us the answers of these five questions, either by unmuting yourself or writing in the chat. Don't be shy. It's a training session here, so I don't know if we can give an example for
Yeah.
just to help you for the with these questions. Maybe we can tell you maybe about this project about the cultural footprint. Nicoletta, yes, you can share. Do you want to unmute yourself and say some things
Okay.
about the results of
Hello.
this exercise? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, my answers to why, because I see this project as my main source of income, and it is necessary for me to follow my dream. Because I have just recovered from a burnout caused by a job I did not enjoy. So what? It is a retail store or e-commerce of handmade decorative or artistic objects. This is the outcome. And the impact will be that I will create affordable art, beautiful and unique items made available at reasonable prices. How? I tend to prepare the items, a great a stock of objects so I can fill in the store. And in the meanwhile, research for the right location and store available for rent. Also, I intend to collect the payments from my current job and invest them in my new one. Who? I will be the only person involved, at least at the beginning. And my customers, my target group, will be people aged between 30 and 60 years old. I plan to start in January for as long as it needed, as I can, maybe until retirement. I don't know. And where I will try this at this, I will move to the city because currently I live in the Greek provinces. So I tend to move to Athens and select a suburban commercial area for my store.
Okay.
This is my project.
Good. I have a few questions. One, if are you living in a touristic area? So maybe you can, I don't know, sell your art also during summer period or
um, I live by the sea, but the tourist season lasts only 40 or 50 days.
okay.
I'm not at a at a place with a high touristic uh,
Yeah.
how can I say it?
Attraction.
But I have tried that already. I have created such objects, and I made sales, but they're not enough to make a living because the area is very um, is is not very touristic. I don't know how else to.
Yeah, I understand.
Um,
I don't live in a touristic area, but sometimes tourists are coming. And a good way could be a temporary shop that sometimes are useful just for this kind of season. Or we are also using this kind of market, the street market, during winter time or during also the spring and the summertime, but very short, 1 day or 1 week, and to
Mm.
be paid during the event is very good. And the last suggestion is that when you start to speak about this project, I appreciate very much, and I was thinking that maybe other people exist that would follow your idea. So maybe from now to another 1 years, you can make some workshop for others that would like to do the same job, the same craft.
I will be glad to share. Yes.
So yeah,
Let's hope everything goes well, and I would be very happy to share.
yeah. I attend some classes of ceramic, for example, and it was very nice in Matera. So I appreciate this kind of job. Very good.
Okay.
And I did for
Thank
my
you.
project. I don't know if other ones want to share. Thank you, Nicoletta. Or maybe Alex, do you want to talk about cultural footprint in this 5WA? And I can
Yes,
do.
I can say some things about the cultural footprint. So I can start with the why we are doing this project. Actually, the cultural footprint was an idea that was created for the during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it is a project oriented to the youth sector and the youth creative sector. So it is necessary. We think that is necessary because we have created different deliverables, as Giulia presented previously. So we have different manuals that can provide different recovery methods from COVID-19 to different types of arts. So what does the project consist of? Consists of series of project results and series of activities. And we have conducted research. We have created curriculum, which is all these webinars are based in this curriculum. We have created also, or we are going to create a repository that you can promote your art there. And of course, we are going to have different coaching sessions for you in order to support you to prepare yourself about the labor market to make your what you love uh, a job. The outcome and the impact is of this project will be that we are going to engage, and we have already engaged people from different art sectors, and in the age frame of this project, because the age frame of this project is like from 16 to 30, let's say. But of course, we can have people from other also ages. How is this project carried out or implemented? We have put a lot of effort all together to implement this project because, as I mentioned, we have lots of activities, and we had different steps and different milestones to reach in order to deliver everything in time. How will you manage to make it happen? Actually, because this project, it depends to the cooperation between the partners, and of course to the audience that we are going to engage. So we ensured very good communication between us. We ensured to have very good communication tools and the collaboration. We managed to solve our problems and risks. So we had different meetings together, and we had very good communication with the people that were engaged in this project. Who is involved in this project? This project is in this project are involved 5 different organizations. So because it is a European project, we have a consortium, That means that we have one leader and 4 partners. So the leader is Census from Sweden. We have MATERAHUB, which is another project partner. We have Incubator from Netherlands. We have Zaidno from Czech Republic, and we, Oecon from Greece. So we are the main people that are involved in this project, the staff of the organizations, and the other direct target group, the most important one, is the youth artists. And this is also the answer of who is the project for. The project is for the youth artists that have faced different challenges during the COVID-19 period because of the lockdown, because they lost their jobs and so on. The project started actually in March 2021 and is about to be completed. We are going to finalize this project 29th of February 2024. And where are you going to reach your public? Actually, all the partners have informed the audience with different ways from the beginning till now. Actually, we have used different communication tools like social media channels and so on, but also we have presented the project in different conferences and different multiplier events that we have participated. And where are you based? Actually, we are not based in a specific country because it's a European project, but this project has 5 partners. We are based in 5 different countries: Sweden, Italy, Czech Republic, Netherlands, and Greece. So we are the main people that you can communicate with and to answer to your questions. And if you want to be part of this project in the next activity that we have, you can contact us through the contact form that we have in the Cultural Footprint project website or through the social media channels that we use. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, I don't know if you would like to hear my project, or we can go through the part that we missed before with Nicoletta. That was the milestone. Maybe we can do both.
I think it's before the milestone. Nicoletta is before the milestone.
Ah, yes.
The one page that we want to see. Yeah.
Okay. Before the milestone, that is this one, we add this. So yeah, because we were talking about project design before, and we start with project life cycle. That is also a good thing to know for project design because refers to the 5 phases that all project must progress through. So from the start to the finish. The 5 stages of a project life cycle serve as the most basic outline that gives a project a definition. And we can start with initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. So it will help the creation of the project if you follow all these steps in the writing phases, but also during the implementation. Then the project scope is a key aspect. So the project planning stage, and in many ways it is the starting point. So determining project scope requires the project manager and all the team that set goals, objective, detail, deliverables, task, establish important dates, deadlines, and more. And project scope define desired outcomes and all specific factors which will affect reaching them. Then we have the stakeholder. So in the example that we had before, in that case, tourist will be the stakeholder. So stakeholder refers to anyone and everyone involved in a project, but also that the one that are, I don't know, something that we are not thinking about, but they are very good. Like, I don't know, if you are making analysis of a stakeholder for a school, for example, the people that are selling food can be the stakeholders because during the afternoon time of a school, they have to eat. So you have to think a lot and open all the boxes to reach all the stakeholders, because they can bring you different kind of opportunity. So stakeholder analysis helps to categorize investors, team members, vendors, contractor, and more can affect your project. So we have the deliverable before the milestone. The word deliverable we can find a lot in a project and refers to the specific outcomes of a project. So deliverables can be tangible or intangible, meaning they can be a physical product or not. Typically, deliverable are the needs that inspire the project at the first step. So if someone contracts a builder to design a construction for an office space, so the office is a tangible deliverable. In this project, for example, we deliver a curriculum where you can find all this kind of explanation about the capacity building that we create. So our deliverable is our curriculum, one of our deliverables. And yes, about the 5 WA exercise, I try to do with my first project. So when I was more young, I was in a community, like in a rural area, and in our town we didn't have museums or some place to share our cultural stuff, any exhibition place, so nothing to the cultural and arts sector. So why we are doing that? We were doing that because we really would like to add this kind of structure, and there's no one. So why do you think it necessary? Because we were a good community, like young students or artists or entrepreneurs that would like to do something with the cultural sector in that town. So this is the why. And what? So we did one project. So a project for that the duration was 1 year. And we offer free courses for artists and in different disciplines. Like we start with the craftsmen that give us for free the materials, and then we start to pay them also to make this lesson. And we did the music classes, the theater classes, and then we make a festival also. So different, not webinar, but more workshop, because was in presence and was after COVID also, yeah. And after this kind of workshop, we did not a party but a celebration of it. So also the municipality can see why we should have this kind of opportunity. And the outcome, I think it was that one. So the last celebration, because we put the exhibition for the creative workshop, and we make the band for the music workshop, and etc. So how we write a project, the European Erasmus Plus project. It was written by me and other person that are my friends, so not like project manager, but just people who like to get financed their project. And how we manage it, it was difficult and hard, because after COVID and etc., we were just 3-4 people in the management team. So how with a lot of passions, I think, because the first are always like that. Who we are? We were one artist, one musician, me, and other 2 people that were more involved in the theatrical stuff. When it was in 2021, after COVID, really, and we're in Sora. So this is a small town in the internal area in Italy, like 1 hour from Rome, 1 hour from Naples. So you are like in the middle of nowhere because you have Naples and you have Rome. So you don't need museum in your town, but it's not true. So we think that it's so important to go in deeper in this kind of, I don't know, struggle, because are kind of we face the population, so it's important to give opportunity to young and every kind of artists. Yeah, and this is my exercise for the 5WA. We have, I think, 20 or 15 minutes to make the others. We have this.
Yes, we have actually 20 minutes, because then we can have 5 minutes if we have questions, and to explain about the next and the final webinar, and also where they can find all these materials.
Okay, so we can go to the second exercise, that is strengths and weaknesses. After you discover your project with the exercise that we did before, you can go through the SWOT. So the acronyms of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and this analysis that you can use to assess internal and external factor. So it's so important to understand the primary objective of a SWOT analysis, that is to help you to develop a full awareness of all the factors involved in making a business decision. So the internal factor, that are strengths and weaknesses, refer to the internal factor, which are the resources and the experience readily available to you. Okay, so these are the internal factor. The external factor influenced and affect every company, organization, and individuals. So they came from outside, and whether these factors are connected directly or indirectly to an opportunity or a threat is important to note and document each one. So for doing this exercise, you can use a sheet of paper with a pencil, I think is enough. Make a cross and do the strength. So what are the strengths of your project? Then to the right, the weaknesses. So what are the weaknesses of your project? And you have to think about the internal and external, so both. Then you go to the external part that are opportunity and threats. First stage, internal SWOT and weaknesses. Second stage, external opportunities and threats. To do that, I think another 10 minutes or 15 are enough. 10 maybe, because it's not so longer than the previous one. 10, 8, or whatever, you can do it. Let's try.
So you have 10 minutes to complete this exercise, which is easy if you have done already the 5 W's, because now you can answer analytically the questions about the strengths, opportunity, weaknesses, and threats. So 10 minutes, and then someone, if wants to share what you have created, and then we are going to make the conclusion and the Q&A session. Thank you. Okay, as we're running to the end of this session, I think that I hope actually that you have finished your SWOT analysis, and we would like to ask you if someone wants to share the SWOT analysis with us. No, the last minute of the. Yes, Nicoletta, if you can share.
To follow up my previous presentation, the strengths of my project is that I am passionate about creating things and I'm strongly motivated. When I create things, I can work for many hours without getting tired. I have a lot of creative ideas and I have the technical ability to realize them. About the weaknesses, I have limited funds. My finances are really bad. I have to adapt to a new city and make new acquaintances. Uh, I I I need to start over again from zero. The opportunities are that I will get to grow my audience because where I live here, the audience is very limited, and so I can increase my income. I can network with other creative people or organizations, and I will have an easier access to workshops and exhibitions. And the threats are that the audience will not respond, and the financial target will not be reached, so the project will not be sustainable. I'm done. I have nothing else to share for now. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Julia, you are muted. We cannot hear you.
Sorry, I was saying that if your like social media to promote your art, you can share in the chat so we can follow you and reach your community. And
Thank
about
you. I will.
yeah, it's work we did in the other previous session and with some illustrators in Instagram page, and it's work. Yeah. Alexandra, do you want to close the meeting, or I don't know, I do my SWOT or
Yes, you can do your SWOT, and then we can have the Q&A session if questions will arise, and we can have the conclusions, and then we can finish it.
good. Yeah, about the strength and weaknesses, usually it's good to make a lot of them, like 3 or 4 for each stage, but I did once. So one strength was that we really reached the needs of this kind of target. So it was a very good strategies. And the weaknesses is that we were not just so linked with the municipality, so we didn't have all the opportunity to make it replicable in the future. And I think it's related to the internal factor because we should think about that. The external was that opportunity about the other kind of people that would like to do something like that, so make it replicable for them. So opportunity for them, but also opportunity for us to have a bigger community. And the treats maybe that when you start this kind of project that are funding by the European Union, sometimes you have the money just for the project, not for the research. So yes, this was my SWOT. I think I can close the sharing videos because we finished for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Julia. Do you have questions for our presenter? Do you want to ask something specific and related to the presentation and the topic that we had today? No. Okay, then I'm going to close this meeting. I would like to inform you that in 2 days from now, on Thursday, we have our final webinar. It is like the business model canvas and how to create it and how to structure it with different exercises. It's the last webinar. I would like to inform you that as you are artists, this project offers to you a place to promote your art. That means that we are going to create a repository during the next 2 months where all the artworks of the artists who want to be part of this project will be presented and will be uploaded, including your social media channels, something that is going to expand your audience, not only in your countries, but also to the participating countries and generally in Europe. As you must know that having this repository, we are going to create a campaign with your profiles and with your artworks. If you visit the cultural footprint website, in the news section, there is a specific announcement about the repository and the registration form. In this registration form, you can click in the button, you can redirect it to the registration form, and you can upload your artwork and to fill in all the mandatory questions in order to be easy for us to create your profile in the repository. So additionally, we are going, of course, to say it once again in Thursday session, but we would like to inform you that we are going to have announcements about our next activities. The next activity is the coaching session. That means that you can have a very you can have the opportunity to interact with us and to help you personally to create your business and give you advices in your specific art sector and in your specific business sector. So I'm going to share with you here some links. I'm going to share with you the website of the project where all the announcements are going to be there. You can find also all the materials that we have created during this project. I'm going to share with you also the Facebook page that we use, where also the open calls are available for all. And also the last thing that we would like to share with you is, of course, the evaluation form for this session. So please fill in the evaluation form because it is very important for us to have feedback from you. Before I share the evaluation form, we have some questions. The first question is from Reggie. I don't know if I tell it right, but is there a link to that page you shared? What page you mean?
If you are talking about the last pages that I shared, is about the curriculum. Yeah, this
Yes,
what
the curriculum. Yeah, the curriculum. The curriculum is available in the website. You can download it from there. It's open and free for all. Now it's uploaded in the English version. We update the website now, and in the next days, all the versions will be there. That means that the curriculum will be available in Greek language, Italian, Dutch, and Swedish and Czech. Now it's I just shared the website actually. Just give me one moment to reshare it. It is in the chat. Just give me one moment. Here. Yes, if you follow the link that I just shared, you will be redirected to the website. And we have one question from Andriana. So, do our projects have to be just performances, or as Nicoletta said, the artistic object she creates? I'm starting my research, and it's about contemporary theater. It will include some interviews as well. Does it count? Adriana, you can share, for example, it must be something that we can see, like performance, actually, or you can have some photos of the performance. And because during in this registration form, it is we are asking about a short bio of yours. That means that you can, because I know that I know you, so I know your background. You can say in your bio that you are starting your PhD, you are going to have a research in contemporary theater. If you are cooperating with other emerging artists or other theater groups, and links to different works or workshops that you have done. So if you include all this information to your bio with some photos of your performances, or if you have poems or other artistic work, like I don't know if we can include maybe um, articles about if you write articles about theater, like if you assess the
Research.
performances, maybe. Yeah. So this is also possible. But because we are going to have more time explaining all these things also in Thursday, and don't forget that you can contact us also through the contact form that we have in the website in order to answer to your questions. And also because we are asking about your email in the registration form about the repository. If we have questions and if something is not like enough, we will go back to you, we will come back to you and ask about more for more information. I don't know if I covered your questions, Andrea. Okay. So, and the last thing that I want to share with you, as I told you, is the evaluation form. So just take 5 minutes to fill in the evaluation form, which is important for us. And in the next days, you are going to receive the materials from this meeting, and the webinar is also recorded. It will be available both in the website of the project and also in the MOOC platform of the project that will be available in the next days with versions of the curriculum. And also our recorded webinars are available in our YouTube channel, which is has the same name with our Facebook page. So if you search it about in Facebook, you can in YouTube, you can find it. You can see again and again the webinars. So thank you all once again. Thank you, Giulia, for the great presentation. And I hope that we will see you again in our last webinar in Thursday at the same time.
Thank you and
Thank you very much.
bye.
Bye to all.